Hey, Kat.
Hey, John.
What's up?
John.
Yes, Kat.
What is up? There's so many things that are up right now.
There are. I'm afraid they're going to fall on me.
I know. Well, then just look out.
I'm going to run to my left. Is that okay? Is that a good strategy?
I think you're safe.
Okay.
Yeah, do that.
Good.
What are we doing, John?
We are doing a podcast?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Good job.
Whew. Okay. I total
John,
guess
do you
on that.
remember the name of the podcast?
I do. It is the My Mistake podcast, Kat.
Nice job. So far, you are ahead of Emma Bell in our pop quiz.
To be fair, that's a low bar. Love me some Emma, but that's a low bar for me to remember the name of my own podcast. Mm-hmm.
John, what do we do on My Mistake, the podcast?
On My Mistake, the podcast, Kat, what we do is we talk about mistakes, ones that you have made, ones that I have made, ones that guests who come on to talk to us have made, and sometimes ones that historical personages from our past have committed and that we talk about in the form of historical mistakes, which we like to call in our own inimitable fashion, hysterical mistorks, Kat.
Wow, that is absolutely. I'm impressed with how many words you just used to describe what we do here.
Yeah, I'm ready for retirement now.
You used all the words,
I used
John.
all the words. I'm done. Mm-hmm.
Well, so tonight we have a guest.
Oh, that's great.
But we're not going to bring him on yet.
Okay. Why not? That's not great. What are we doing?
That's not great.
Okay.
Well, we have what we in the business call some housekeeping to take care of before we get to the meat of the show, if you
I
will.
really hate cleaning toilets, Kat. It's not my favorite thing to do.
Luckily, it's not what we're doing here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
John, do you remember a few episodes back, we put a call out to listeners to send us an email to kind of get a little shout out, a little holler. Hey, we're out here. We're listening. Do you remember that?
Kat, I do remember that we did that. We got the word out that we were looking for a little validation, a little hi, hello from the void. Yeah.
Because we're very sensitive. We're very fragile. And we just kind of needed a little pick me up, a little, hey, people are listening to us kind of a thing.
Yeah, we're very narcissistic and needy. And
that's us.
Yeah, that's us.
So the first round of people, we read their emails and they gave us a shout out. It was awesome.
Right.
Well, we had a couple stragglers, John.
Okay. Well, you know what? Podcasts work that way. They time shift for the listener. They allow the listener to listen to them in their own good time.
Yeah, and that's great.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted we wanted to acknowledge some of those people who sent us emails.
Did we? Oh, I guess we did want to do that. Okay.
Well, I do. And then as part of it was sort of like a contest that we are going to have.
Mm-hmm.
As part of the contest, I think, John, you said, hey, people curse at us in your native language. Send us some curse words, right?
Right. Yep.
So listener Jill has done that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also included her address. So I'm going to read that now.
Okay, do that.
Jill's address is 15. You know what? Maybe I don't do that.
What could go wrong, Kat?
But she did write shit, damn it, and fuck.
Okay, well, those are curse words, and I'm guessing they are in her native language.
Yes.
Okay.
And she sent a picture of her listening. She's got a cup of coffee, I think. Mm-hmm. She's listening to us.
Oh, that means I have to send her a picture because I did make that promise. Yeah.
You owe her a photo, John.
I do.
So, Jill, thanks for listening. We appreciate it.
By the time you hear this, hopefully you will have that photo of me. I will be fully clothed, I guarantee.
We also got an email from Jake.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I listen because it's just so pleasant, easy, fun listening, and I learned so much great stuff about my rad sister-in-law. Oh, this is my brother-in-law, Jake.
Hi, Jake.
He sends a couple of great pictures of him listening all the way up in BC. Thank you, Jake. You didn't win, but we appreciate the effort.
We do. It's family.
And one more. It's family.
When you're at the Olive Garden or the My Mistake podcast, you're family.
You're family.
Mm-hmm.
We have one more email from Amber, longtime listener. She has been on the podcast, yes. One-time guest. Mm-hmm. And she sent us, it's just one word, and do you have the email up?
I don't have it up.
It's okay.
It starts with an F, but it's not the typical F word.
It's actually a K.
Oh, it's a K.
So it's one word. It's I'm going to try to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Kraftdema?
Kraftdema. Yeah.
Kraftdema? I don't know where it's from, what language what language it is.
Okay,
I don't know.
when I looked at this email earlier, Kat, I typed it into the old Google Translate.
Did you?
Yes, and it recognized it as Danish, which I found interesting because the people of Denmark are, and one in particular, Linda, I think.
Linda.
We have mentioned a couple times, and she was the first to get an email in, which was, I'm sorry, she was the second, but it didn't matter because she's from Denmark, so therefore she also wins.
Okay.
And so it recognized the word as Danish, and it means fucking.
Interesting.
As you would use to modify something like this fucking podcast that way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't mean.
Well, it's funny. Mm-hmm. Well, so then I just Googled it, and according to one website, it's not a Google Translate, but it's a contraction of another word that I can't pronounce, and it says the meaning is "may cancer devour me."
Wow. Okay, that
dark.
could not be much more different than my experience. Now, I will say that it's possible that Google Translate was stuck on Danish because I had used Google Translate most recently to translate Linda's email, and maybe Kraftdeme means something different in another language. What language is that? Is that Google search saying it's in?
It says how to swear in Scandinavia.
Well, okay, I mean, Denmark is included in Scandinavia.
Yeah. And then there's a second website called scandikitchen.co.uk that says it literally means cancer eat me.
Okay. I've made the same.
Wow. It's
Google.
So dark.
We rarely go on the internet because I like to make my mistakes fresh from my head instead of looking things up to give you the wrong idea about things. But yeah, I am seeing this too. May cancer devour me.
It's such a fucked up thing. Well done, Amber. You've definitely sparked a conversation here.
Right. But I do see that it is Danish. I am seeing it in a .dk website.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's so interesting. Well, we all just learned something.
We did.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
Well done, Amber. Again, you didn't win, but thank you for the effort. We appreciate it.
And I could send you a picture of me. I mean,
I think you should.
Okay, I'll do that.
And just one last little bit of housekeeping. John, last week was our very successful 100th episode of My Mistake live.
It was indeed. It was live on the Book of Face. And
indeed.
Yeah, and we got a lot of positive feedback on that. And, I have the capacity to put this on other venues like the YouTube or the Twitter.
Sure, yeah.
Possibly the Twitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
all the thes.
I have all the thes. And so if you are listening to us and maybe you would like to occasionally watch us. I mean, I have a hard time just listening to myself. Now, Kat, I could look and listen to like all day. But if for some strange reason you would like to see us, let us know about that because we could do more. It takes a little more effort for us to do, but if our mistakers are asking for it, we could find it in our hearts to give that to you.
How could we deny anything that the mistakers want?
I don't know. I've always been bad at that. I'm a people pleaser. Yeah.
But if you missed it the first time around, as John says, it's on our Facebook page still. And a lot of people came out and watched live with us. And thank you so much. We appreciate it. It was nice to know that it wasn't just John and myself and our guest and our wives watching at home.
And our fake Facebook accounts that we were using to comment on the... I'm sorry, we're recording. That's
John.
My bad. Yeah.
So thank you, everybody who turned out. That was awesome. We really appreciate it.
We do. And, you can help us out even more by, going on your podcast app of choice and giving us a 5-star rating, maybe saying a nice word or two, or, more than two words is really a short review. Don't you think
it is? It's very minimalist.
It is. And while we would appreciate even that, it would be great if you could give us a few more. But yeah, like if you enjoy listening to us, it does help us with the algorithm. And, we're all slaves to the algorithm these days.
That's true.
So yeah, if you could help us out, that would be great. It's, we do this for ourselves really, but you convince us that it's worth it by doing things like that, making us know that there are people out there in the void listening to us. Yeah. Be awesome.
All right.
Yeah. Kind of wound down there, didn't I?
Yeah. You kind of brought us down a little bit. All right. Enough of this.
I think we need to bring on our guest. Yeah.
Yes. Let's get to it.
We have tonight, Kat, we've got with us Kevin, who is an independent film producer of a stripe and a friend of mine who has promised me that he has some very, very interesting stories to relate to us and our mistakers tonight.
Hi, Kevin.
Welcome, Kevin.
Good evening. Thank you so much. Kat and John, nice to be here.
It's wonderful to have you. How's life treating you these days?
I mean, it's 2021. It's a whirlwind. It changes by the hour, I guess. Right now I get to be here with you, so it's actually really great. But
nice.
We'll see what it feels like in a few hours from now.
There you go.
You'll see what you say later.
Yeah. It puts me in mind of a quote from The Breakfast Club. It's demented and sad, but social.
Yeah, that's actually, when I was a kid, that was like the first movie I ever learned every line from.
Right.
Like I knew every line in that movie from beginning to end.
Fantastic. It's a good one to start with.
Yeah.
It's classic.
I mean, it could have been, I don't know, My Dinner with Andre, which would have been very difficult, I think.
Yeah.
Just that's a difficult.
My second one was Dr. Zhivago. That was the second one.
Sure.
That,
There's a lot of Russian in that one, I think, isn't there?
It was, and it was a challenge. I was 12. Aiming high.
I like it. You've got big dreams, big ideals.
Yeah.
So Kevin, what are we going to talk about tonight? What are you going to tell us about in your past?
Well, let's talk about big ideals, I guess.
Okay.
Let's stay on that theme.
I love a guest who can segue.
Oh, yeah. You did it beautifully. And so tonight, I think I'll share my unconventional way of getting into college.
Oh.
And I don't think anyone has quite had this experience. So we'll see.
That's a bold statement. There are a lot of people, and they've had a lot of experiences, Kevin.
There are. Okay, so at the end of the story, you tell me. You let me know.
Yes, we'll be the judge.
Okay. So I was attending a high school in Florida. All right. And I really wanted to get into the University of Florida. And for me, that's the best school to get into. All of my friends were getting into the university. I applied to that school. I worked my butt off to try to have like the best grades, and I got off the pot my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
just
it's a good time
I was
to
like,
do it.
It's a good time. And now it's time to focus. Let's get these grades up. And I felt pretty good. I felt pretty confident about getting in, but also all my friends were going to be there. I was dating a girl who had gotten in, and I was like, I have to
gotta go if your girlfriend.
Yeah, it's
correct. So
pressure's on.
That was a big pull for sure. And so in the January of my senior year, all of my friends were getting their letters of whether or not they were accepted to whatever schools they applied to. It's an exciting time. You find out like where you're going to go, what your future is going to be like.
Sure.
Right. And so, all the letters of acceptance or whatever were starting to fill in. And I thought to myself, okay, this is great. I'm going to hear from them. This is going to be awesome. And so January went by. I didn't hear anything. February went by. I didn't hear anything. And like now it's finally it's like March. And I'm thinking, wait a second. I haven't heard back from the school. I didn't even really apply to any other school I wanted to get into.
Oh boy, you got to have a plan B, Kevin.
My plan B sucked. It was horrible. It was like I don't even want to say which school I was my plan B in case I insult any listeners.
Was it Central? Was it West Central Florida University? No,
it wasn't even like it wasn't even like a like a university or such. And it wasn't a university. It was
Okay.
some other kind of. It was a special kind of
The
college.
Juilliard School of
Florida
Clown College.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll get in. I'll apply to this just in case something horrible happens or whatever. And so, anyways, it's now March, and I'm starting to get nervous, and I didn't hear back at all. And so I was thinking, okay, I'm going to do something creative. I'm going to do something to stand out. You know,
so many terrible stories start that way. Let's hope yours is terrible.
If only it was terrible. So I wanted them to notice me. I wanted them to like say, "Oh, how could we have forgotten about Kevin? This is crazy."
What about Kevin?
His letter of acceptance is right here on the desk. I thought you were going to send it out. So I decided to get a bunch of letters of recommendation. I was a musician at the time, and so I also like had a bunch of music recorded. So I was like, I'm gonna put a cassette tape with my package, and I'll show them. Look, I'm also musically inclined. I also like wrote stories and poetry, and I was like, I'll wow them with my words. And so I was like, and then I thought to myself, okay, well, I've got all these letters of recommendation, whatever, to send over to them. So how do I send it? And I thought, all right, let's be creative. So I thought, I'll put it in a really nice box. That's it. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Lots of people, I'm sure, send things in nice boxes. Let's send it in like a medium-sized, biggish box. And then I thought, no, let's go ahead and send it in a absurdly large box.
Oh boy.
Okay.
And so I just decided to throw everything in there, you know, music tape, poetry, letters, whatever, all in a big box. And this is where maybe my artistic choices went awry. I wrote on the outside of the box, I think probably in like handwriting, and my handwriting looks creepy enough as it is, like alone. It's
could
like
it
looks
be
like,
described as serial killer handwriting?
Yes, it is. Like
Okay.
second grade with like that gray paper with the lines that you're like writing C, but it looks all messed up.
There's like the dotted line in the middle
Correct.
of the two. Yes, I got you.
I never got past essentially that skill.
Okay.
My handwriting still looks like that to this day.
You should be a doctor.
Yeah. So a doctor of tragedy is what we're about to find out.
Okay.
Oh, there's the episode title.
Yeah.
That was easy.
So I write on the outside of this box, "Do I have your attention?"
Oh God.
Or it might have been, "Do I have your attention now?" It's one of those.
Wow.
A little threatening.
Wow.
I think it's, "Do I have your attention?"
It's very aggressive.
It was aggressive. It was not well thought through. I agree. So I thought that, someone would laugh. What a lark this kid is.
Now, Kevin, you're a young guy. Was this post 9/11?
This was, I'm going to date myself. This was post. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. I'm going to date myself. This was pre 9/11.
Okay.
Got it.
Well, that's
Okay.
better.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but little did I know, while all this is going on at this time, universities around the country were getting bomb threats.
Oh boy.
And so I did not know this. Who would have known this would have happened? But there were bomb threats at like Ivy League schools and other schools around the country. And so when my box arrived to the admissions office, the University of Florida, the secretary got nervous. And I learned about the story. So I was told that a secretary got very nervous, and then she asked her coworkers to come around to the box, and they were then told, "Don't open the box." Okay. And because I guess they had heard about some of these bomb threats.
Sure.
So then they're told, all right, protocol, you need to call the police department. You need to call the Gainesville Police Department. So they do reach out to the Gainesville Police Department, and the police department says, no, the protocol is you have to call the bomb squad.
Right.
Oh boy.
And so the bomb squad shows up to the admissions building of the University of Florida on this day. Now, okay, cut to me. I'm literally as this is all transpiring, I'm literally in my government class in high school. Okay. And I kid you not, I do believe we're probably learning about Pearl Harbor or just something about attacks on America at this time.
Sure. Was there like while sitting in that class, did it ever possibly like a bell rang and you went,
Well,
yeah,
I'll tell you what did ring. A
Please.
bell did ring. Oh. It was an actual bell from the office of my high school. And they paged me to come to the office. And so I'm then paging. You guys remember when you were like in high school and there's like a page over the intercom, like we need to have like, Kevin, please come to the office. It's like everyone's like, ooh, It was totally like that.
Right.
And I knew I didn't do anything wrong. So I went to the office, like strolling about, and then somebody at the office tells me as I arrive that the Gainesville bomb squad or police department or something is on the phone and they wanted to talk to me. And I thought that this was, in fact, at first I thought like, oh, University of Florida, so silly. You sent my acceptance letter to my high school instead of my home. So I think that they're all joking with me. So I pick up the phone and I immediately say, hi, did you get my bomb?
Oh no!
Oh no, Kevin!
No, Kevin! No, you didn't say that, Kevin.
I did say that. That was the first thing that I said, and then there was a pause on the other end, and a person says, "I'm sorry," and I then said, "Oh, did you get my bomb?"
Because I want to make sure you heard me right.
You didn't hear what I said. And then
the explosive device that I sent to your address. Did you get it?
Yeah. You didn't hear me the first time. So then there is this other pause, but it's almost his exasperation was palpable on the other end. And then I hear a walkie-talkie sound in the background, like police talk or chatter or something.
You heard it in the background on the phone?
On the phone.
Okay. I'm like, the SWAT team is at your school.
The SWAT
standing behind you.
No. I hear the like walkie-talkies on the other end of the phone. So whoever is at Gainesville, he has a walkie-talkie or there's somebody around him that does, and I hear it. And at that point, it's like that feeling where your stomach drops. Mm-hmm. You're just like, oh shit, I think I might be in trouble.
Do you think I've made a mistake?
Do you think?
So the guy then says, "Sir, this is not a joke. I'm so and so from the Gainesville bomb squad. There's such and such from the police department. We received a box from you, and we need you to immediately describe the contents of the box. And we are calling to make sure that you were at school and not basically somewhere in the area."
Ready to trigger it. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's when you said, "Oh, officer, you can do that over cellular from anywhere in the world now."
You guys are so silly. Let me show you. It's so at that point, like I realized, like, oh my God, like all this stuff is now rushing through my mind. Like one, I'm like so much. It's like one, like, oh my God, am I going to get arrested? And then I think to myself, I'm never going to get into this university. Plan B sucks. And I start thinking like, okay, maybe I should have applied to some other places. What about that girl? I want to continue dating that girl. Now she's going to find some other guy at the university. It's not going to be me. And like, I'm going to lose all my friends. And then I start thinking, all right, I'll apply at Publix. I live near Publix. I'll start as a bagger. I'll work my way up. Like my whole future of what this is going to look like just flashes before me.
Sure.
And so the guy says, what's in the box? And I think that like, I start to like poetry and letters of recommendation. I have a cassette tape of music, and he's telling me that there's people like in like bomb squad outfits, like spacesuits that have to submerge it underwater. Yeah. And they're literally submerging my box underwater, but they want to find out what was in it before they did that.
Right.
They ruined your box.
My box. Like it was a what's in the box moment.
And now we're in Seven territory where Brad Pitt is what's in the box.
Exactly. So I'm then like, there's a poem and some music that I wrote.
Oh, Kevin.
And so then he's like, there's like pausing, and he's asking me like, why did I send a box? Like, what was like the purpose of this? And all this stuff. And then some other like some of it became kind of a blur because it was a bit traumatic. And then I just then said, am I in trouble? And then the guy says, I don't know, sir, but you scared a lot of people today. And then I am then told later on that over 900 people had to evacuate the campus, and like multiple administrative buildings had to be completely evacuated.
Oh my God.
And it was like people were in the streets, had to be removed from their offices. Like buildings were shut down for a little bit, and people were standing in the street. Like this is in the news, the Gainesville Alligator. And,
oh my God.
And so I'm just like shocked, like for the rest of the day. And I don't know what's going to happen. I'm like, well, I'm not going to college. And am I going to be arrested?
There goes that.
You might be going to Gray Bar University there, Kevin.
So I go home, and I'm told that, I was told while I was in the office that the head of admissions wanted to speak to me that day, and I had to call him after school. Mm-hmm. So I then call the university later that day, and I speak to Bill Kolb, head of admissions.
Right.
And the guy, as soon as like I call, he's like, are you the guy that sent us this bomb box? And I said, yes, I am. And he just starts laughing. And he's telling me like how scared everybody was. And he's going on like about like, just like, I really freaked everybody out. It was quite an event. And then he's just kind of laughing all the way. And then he says to me, he asked me like, what do I want to study? He goes, when do you want to come?
You're kidding.
And then he says, he literally sends me my letter of acceptance that day himself.
Oh, wow.
Directly from him. But he said the stipulation is I'm not allowed to mail anything to the university ever again.
Was there a white powder in the envelope when you received it?
Yeah, right. And I then when I went to school when I went to the college for like, the orientation and everything, he told me he wanted me to visit his office. He wanted to meet me. And,
I imagine so.
Yeah. And I get there and I meet up with his assistant or the secretary, I guess, that found the box. And she just yells at me.
Oh yeah.
She tells me she thinks that like, she's like, I bet you think this is pretty funny, but you scared everybody here. And I'm like, I was just trying to be critical. I wanted you to see my poetry.
my very moist poetry.
Yeah. So, and everybody in my high school knew about this. I think I maybe told like one person that day what happened, and the very next day, the whole school, people were just kind of looking at me funny.
Kevin, that's how high school works.
Yeah.
That's true. That was every day for me, Kevin.
Yeah.
No, first off, I want to give you kudos because sometimes people come on and some are more prepared than others, and some have a story and you're like, you really have to dig to find the mistake. Thank you for making our job so easy.
It was
the
such a mistake.
It's a fantastic mistake.
Yeah.
Luckily you found the school. You sent a bomb to a school with a very jovial, good-natured admissions dude. Like
the head of admissions.
Hilarious.
Now,
if it wasn't for
head of admissions,
not so much. Yeah.
Yeah. I would have plan B would have been the way it would have went.
He thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I would have been a great clown, I think.
I know you would, Kevin. I have no doubt that you would have been among the best clowns of your generation. But I'm glad that you did. In fact, what happened with the girl?
I was actually that week I showed up to like the orientation. She was like a year ahead of me, and so pretty cool. I was like, I was kind of seeing a girl that went to college a year before me.
It's unusual. It's a lot more unusual for a high school guy to be dating a college gal than the reverse.
I knew that then. I acknowledged it then. I was like, wow, I'm lucky. This is pretty cool. However, when I did show up that week of orientation where she was there, and it felt like it wasn't going to go anywhere. I think it kind of felt like maybe she had a year where maybe she had met somebody. Now that's okay. And even my week of orientation, I feel like I got a little bit of my comeuppance with the people that I scared, because when I showed up, at the University of Florida, there's the Florida Massage School, just like a mile away. All right. Now, when I got there, I had friend, a girl who went to the Florida massage school, and she and like a harem of beautiful hippie women like met me at orientation, and they said, we have to fulfill our massage hours for our program. We would like to give you lots of massages when you show up.
This sounds like a Penthouse letter. I just want you to know that. Okay.
It does end tragically. I mean, like this is going somewhere bad too.
Oh, good.
And so,
you're on brand. So this is great. Let's.
So I'm walking there. So my friend Samantha, really great girl, and her harem of like just beautiful hippie massageists were showing me around town, downtown Gainesville, and we're walking down, I think it's Main Street. And as I'm walking, I'm like feeling pretty cool. It's just like me and like a half dozen women. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm working it. Things are pretty good. It's like, I got this. It's okay. It's too bad about like the other girl, but look at all these other women. And a car drives by really fast on the street, and they throw something at me. And they're driving really, really fast. And as they throw it, it hits my back, and it's going at such a fast speed that it literally makes a popping sound. It sounds like a small explosion as it hits my back. And I got egged. An egg hit my back, but it was so fast, and the popping sound was so loud, I thought I got shot.
Oh my God. Wow.
I thought that I got shot, and I just like fell to the ground on both knees, and I put my hand like on my back to feel like, to see like if I like what had happened. And I felt like the egg, so I thought it was blood. And I just another, again, just moment of just tears. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I just thought to myself, please don't let me die like crying in front of all these like hippie massage women. And I get up, and I'm just like, I'm looking at my friend. I'm like, am I going to die? And because I feel like I thought it was blood. And the women who are, kind of like empathetic, and they like see energy, and they massage you, they just look at me and go, it's just an egg. And they look at me, and they give me that look like, you're not going to get a massage.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
You disgraced yourself in front of the 6 hippie masseuses.
Yes.
It's not to be confused with mezuzahs.
Oh.
That's a whole different thing.
No,
Yeah.
different.
Right.
It's different.
But yeah, that's, oh, wow.
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry. That's like an opportunity right there.
It was, they're like, one of them takes me into like the ladies' bathroom to like help me. And like people are coming into the bathroom to like look at the sad man who got hit by an egg. It's like his eyes are kind of like red, and and like it's okay. It's okay. I hope I never see you again. It's okay. It's okay.
I hope I never see you. I won't be touching you later.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, the way you described it, you fell to your knees. It's like the end of Platoon.
It was just like that.
Yes.
Arms up.
It felt like
Willem Dafoe.
Mm-hmm. It was the secretary from the admissions office who hated me. I thought that she had hired a guy.
She egged you.
Yeah.
No, she hired an Eggman. It was the walrus was too expensive. She had to hire the Eggman. Yeah. And that's what happened. I see.
They got me.
I see it now.
They got you.
That was like wow. Kat, I have to just Kevin for a moment. I have to say, I don't know if I've ever heard a better like follow-up story to an initial mistake. Like,
right.
Yeah, that was.
And it almost sounded as if it had been planned.
Right.
If it was like, Kevin's like, okay, John, then ask me about the girl.
Yeah, no.
This was not pre-planned.
I so wish that I could say, I wish that some of this was false. I wish I'd made any of this up. Life would have maybe felt easier. And like, this is the beginning of adulthood.
I find it's, now Kat and I have a long history of talking about our histories and all of the, terrible decisions that we've made. Sure. And so you are now a member of the Mistake Club. Congratulations. It's a small, but very, what do I want to say? Like honored tradition, a small group of people who are the mistake makers. And, so welcome and
Thank
congratulations on your stellar entry.
It's good to finally belong somewhere. Thank you. I didn't even have to scare anybody to get into this group.
No,
No,
you
he didn't have to threaten
no,
us.
You had to get scared. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Yep. We're all victims here, Kevin.
Oh yeah. This does exist still, I believe, in the UF alligator. So
The story of
the bomb scare,
right? So people can trace you and track you down. That's good. It's always good to
Perfect.
leave a trail of breadcrumbs to your to yourself. No, that's great. I'm picturing the hippie. Did any of the hippie masseuses? Did they have dreadlocks?
I would say at least half. And my friend Samantha at the time did have dreadlocks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just needed to confirm that. I needed to not
say
feel
patchouli for
like
sure.
I was being prejudicial.
Whatever you are envisioning in your mind is
exactly
correct.
that. Okay. Great.
Okay.
And it was me and a bunch of people who went there, kind of like, it looks like sack type of like shirts with the little like handmade kind of shoulder things, and me crying in the street and crying in the women's restroom with egg.
Yep.
Covered with egg.
You've painted a lovely picture with tempura, which is made from egg. So now in my head, it's an icon.
Yeah.
No, this is beautiful, gorgeous.
Nicely
Thank you for that.
done,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to follow that story. I feel like we should just make it a half-hour show.
I mean, like I've made many mistakes, John. I've made so many mistakes.
Well, you're going to have a long and prosperous future.
Let me know if you need another story. I've got others.
Kat, should we procure another story from
Kevin? Let it roll. Yeah. Let's keep going.
Let's move forward. Let's speed things up. I've graduated from college. They allowed me to graduate. I don't send them donations when they ask me for the alumni stuff.
I don't do that either.
But I'm not allowed to as well legally.
You can't mail them anything.
You're not supposed to send them.
Been proscribed.
But okay, let's. I guess a lot of mistakes that people make is the dating world, right?
Right.
So I have had interesting experiences, just like everybody else. There's one that comes to mind. I briefly got involved with a girl. And so I'm going to keep some of it vague, just because I promised this person I would never reveal certain things about her and her life. But now this girl was involved with an exceptionally famous person.
Nice.
An exceptionally famous person. And that person is no longer with us, but it's a pretty famous individual.
Right.
Now, I dated this girl, and I had no idea of her involvement with this guy, none whatsoever. Right. Mm-hmm. But slowly over the course of like the introduction of learning who she was, I then find out. Okay. And it weirds me out, but I didn't want to like end things because of it. And I'm not the type of guy to be like, oh, cool, I want to continue dating you because this is interesting. If there is a lot to live up to, right?
Right. Now, the nature of her relationship with the famous person, was that a romantic relationship?
Romantic.
And it had ended before you entered the picture?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
All
right.
Now, and this person, so when I was involved with her, this person had already passed away. Okay.
I see.
So lots of stories about this individual, okay, about him. And so this girl, I wanted to impress her. I wanted to kind of do something cool because it seemed like she had kind of cut herself off from, I think, a lot of people once this guy passed away. Mm-hmm. All right. And somehow she had found her way into my life. And so, but throughout the course of that relationship, lots of very weird things started happening to me that I could only guess would potentially be supernatural. And it's just strange. And so I start telling her, it's very strange, but every single morning, I'm waking up literally 1 hour to the minute of when my alarm is supposed to go off every single morning in a row. And that's never happened. And she said, oh, that's just him who I dated. He's just checking you out. And I thought to myself, oh, that's a weird thing for you to say. And then it continues and it doesn't stop. And then all of a sudden, like this person's media content starts showing up more and more, like on my phone. And when I'm doing like YouTube searches and stuff, it's like this person's stuff shows up. I'm like, this is weird. So then I had this evening where I kind of wanted to wow the girl. So I, musician, as I said, and I said, let's go to the beach, or maybe she wanted to go to the beach. And I want to do this big thing where I bring a table where we're going to have some food on the beach. And I bring a little keyboard to play a piano that's battery operated. I bring my guitar. I bring all these instruments. I make this big deal about it. It's this event and I have like these electric candles like on the sand. And it's like a concert. I'm going to give her a concert, on the beach at night. And it's very romantic, right? We are nowhere near the water. Okay. The water, the tide's pretty far away. And so we're safe. And I start setting things up and I'm thinking like, this is going pretty great. And, the equipment that I have, mind you, it's expensive. It's like, there was like a $400 or $500 like piano with speakers. There was all this stuff. It's all battery powered. It was going to be like this beautiful moment,
Sure.
And something out of a John Hughes film is what I was going for. And going back to Breakfast Club.
Right.
Okay.
Full circle.
Okay. And as before I could even play the first note of anything, the ocean literally swallows everything up. Everything. It's uncanny. And I don't think it's possible for nature to even function that way. But the ocean sweeps up, and at first I feel something cold like on my butt, and everything just like gets destroyed.
Oh God!
By the water.
Kevin, I think nature would dispute your view on what nature is capable of.
Well, we were at 20, 30 feet, I'm 50 feet away from the water. Like I felt pretty safe.
Yeah.
And just as I'm about to like play something, it felt like the spirit of the ex shows up and it's like, no, you don't. And gone, just everything gone. Like my iPod, I now I'm remembering everything. So I had an iPod shuffle. I was plugged into the speakers, the keyboard gone. Now the guitar I had was like this guitar that I had for like 20 years. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to lose this. So I pick up the guitar over my head when I realize what's happening. Right. And mind you, while all this is going on, she thinks this is the funniest thing ever.
Sure, she doesn't realize you're losing like thousands of dollars.
She does not know that, and she's also very, very, very wealthy. Like she's apparently a millionaire or something like that. It was like crazy, and so the value of what I just lost is nothing. Right? She doesn't get it.
Right.
But the guitar is so sentimental to me. Like all the songs I've written were on that guitar, and so I as if it's a child about to be hit by a car and you have to like save it, I pick it up and just distort my body in such a way to save it. And I rip my foot because I don't think I'm wearing shoes at the time. And I rip my foot on a rock or my keyboard that got swept away. And it's such a gash that it feels like I'm bleeding out.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
And there's just like a trail of blood on the sand. Everything is being swept away into the ocean, and I'm lifting my guitar as if it's a human child that I have to save.
And now she's getting laughing. A save anything or say anything moment with the Jambox, but it's your guitar.
It was my guitar,
right?
And just imagine the saddest, John Cusack moment. That's there, and I'm just standing there with my guitar over my head, just with a giant gash in my foot that definitely needs medical attention.
Right.
And the girl is just laughing and laughing and laughing.
You're hemorrhaging blood and valuable assets.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so I wanted to play cool. Again, I somehow find myself in the situation. Try not to cry in front of the girl. Don't cry.
Kevin.
I find men showing emotions to be sexy, but women don't seem to find that very frequently. So I don't know what that.
I don't think this would have been really a show of like sensitive emotion. This would have just been me blubbering.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Nobody likes that, Kevin.
ugly cry at the end of Romeo and Juliet.
To yourself.
Claire Danes,
Yep. So, all right. So how does this shake out? You're injured. You're holding your last remaining possession above your head as, the Titanic is going down. She's laughing.
And she just thought it was the funniest thing. And you're right. I must have lost $1,000 right there.
Mm-hmm.
And she's laughing and she just thinks, oh, that's just so-and-so saying hi. And as soon as I look back, it's like the ocean is kind of back where it was before at a safe distance. It just literally just came up to say, F you, goodbye.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Yes, exactly. I don't think so. Not under my watch. And I'm just shocked. And we just go get in and out. And I'm just like eating fries, trying to just pretend it's all okay.
Right. It's not okay, Kevin. It's okay for it to not be okay.
I saved the guitar. The guitar did get saved. But to this day, I do have a scar on my foot from that moment.
Did you get medical attention? Did you put a butterfly bandage on it? What happened?
I didn't. I absolutely should have. And it looks bad. It's to this day. This is years later.
Sure. You lost
pretty bad.
You lost some musical equipment, but you gained a scar. So that's all right.
Oh yeah. And an ounce or 2 or 5 of blood.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the sock was the sock is just brown from blood.
Sure.
Boy.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I get a reminder of that. It's hard to forget this mistake whenever I just need to put a sock on.
There you go. So now I have to ask. The follow up is first of all, that evening I need to know, did it pan out? Was it romantic? You made her laugh, which is usually good. Right. You didn't blubber.
Yeah,
right?
I did not. It's It was there. I think the fries helped. I swallowed that feeling that you get in your throat. I'm just
a little in and out can wash a lot of feelings down.
Yeah. Just go salty sadness, go down with the fries. We dated for a little bit after that, and then I just realized I did not want to be haunted by a superstar.
Now, did this superstar have any connection to the ocean? Was there any or was that just he could just do anything?
He could do anything.
Oh wow! Now I me that I am a skeptic. I am a very science-based human.
I am too, but this happened. It's one of those things where it's I
don't doubt that it happened.
I'm like Jodie Foster in this, in Contact. I'm I experienced something.
You did, and that movie. While I love that movie, I think the part that I really kind of don't like about it. Which is that it's yes, there are absolutely things we don't understand. Yeah. But yeah, and I'm not gonna yes, you had this experience.
Yes.
You are entitled to your own interpretation of that experience, and I'm not going to be that asshole.
Yeah. Look, whether it was a supernatural swallowing of the ocean or not, it was a mistake for sure.
Fair. Well, yes. I mean, clearly, whether it was because you underestimated the shade of the superstar, or it was that you did not check the tidal tables that night and you set up a little too close, or there was a small earthquake off Chile that caused,
because the tide went back. The tide went back.
It never came back up. It was just literally just to grab my stuff and go back.
Yep. Waves are funny that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. I think it's the X summoned the elements.
I knew you were going to get a more people. This is an audio only medium, but behind Kat right now there is a poster that does say the words. What, Kevin?
It says, "I want to believe."
That's right. Indeed. It's an X-Files poster. Because
I see it.
X-Files. Yeah. Yes. So you're going to get a different probably response from Kat than from me, and I'm just that guy.
Yeah. So to this day, whenever I come across that superstar's work or whatever, it's I want to think of that person fondly, but I also think maybe did you take my keyboard away from me?
Maybe he's a jerk. Do you have a keyboard now? Is it better than the one that you had?
I ended up getting another one soon after, just because I was like, I'm not gonna let anybody just take a keyboard away from me,
Let alone a ghost.
Good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not,
Good
but
for you.
that thing is never going anywhere near the ocean.
That's right. That's right.
Good call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like, and yeah, I guess that's all I can ask is
Yeah.
because the relationship did not go further, but you did replace the keyboard, you saved the guitar,
Yeah.
you have the indelible mark of the scar upon your foot to remind you of that night.
I do.
I
do.
have, yeah,
It's a battle scar.
absolutely. Well, I have at least one scar that's from a mistake that I haven't talked about, but that might be a whole story. So,
Okay.
Oh.
yeah, I'm
right.
not going to get into that.
Such a
To be
tease.
continued.
To be
Yes.
continued. But yeah. Well, that's amazing. Now, like, of course, I'm just now trying to figure out who that person would be.
Oh, of course.
But you've successly masked their identity to a
Yes.
point where I have no idea who this superstar was.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not gonna tell. Maybe someday you and I are at the water cooler. I might give a hint or two.
I like it. That'll be after we're vaccinated and there are
Yeah.
water coolers again.
Yeah. I won't bring a keyboard anywhere near the water cooler, though.
Don't do it because
Smart.
you've learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, I hate to go to the well once too often, especially if there's a keyboard around. We don't want to get that close to water. But is there another like another morsel of mistake you could bestow upon us?
Gosh. Well, I mean, I got one other. It's quick. You and I, we have a mutual friend.
We do.
Okay. All right. And now
Several actually.
Oh yeah. We've got several mutual friends.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of them was producing a film. Okay. And I guess I could just say it. So this person's been on your podcast, and she produced a short film called "Lose Weight with Cancer."
Right.
Okay. Now,
I think our hardcore mistakers already know who you're talking about, which I like.
Okay, good. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we're bringing her in a little bit, and I was around to help out, and I was new to the area in California, and I had a truck. Okay, and so by the way, real quick, having a truck in the early 2000s anywhere is always a mistake because everyone wants you to help you move.
Yeah, you
right?
can't let anybody know. You just have to take Ubers.
No. This is before all that. So
right.
Just quick side mistake. I moved at least a dozen people in a span of like 3 years, and that's a mistake.
Sure,
but,
you did. Yep.
But on this day, I was actually helping to move some of the film equipment, and I think that I was featured in it, or I was wearing a wardrobe this day. This was a really hot day. In the middle of the summer, it must have been like 90 something degrees. There's a reason why I'm saying all this. And I was wearing a turtleneck and a jacket.
Wow.
Okay. But because like it was part of my wardrobe for a scene or something. And in the back of my truck is all this important film equipment. And that we had a very, very small window to film at a restaurant. So the owner of a restaurant was going to let us use the space. And so, our friend said, "All right, Kevin, I need you to meet me here at this time. We're moving from this place to this place. Please don't get lost. Please, follow us, blah, blah, blah." This is like before Google Maps.
Had you printed out a map quest?
There was nothing like that. It was like, we're going from place to place to place to place. And
Right.
I had to follow, our friend. And so I somehow end up in the wrong lane of like a 6-lane like street, where there's just like all these lanes.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend turns right to get onto the highway. It's like the 110 or something. I'm all the way to the left where you can't make a right.
Nope.
I'm all on the other side. You can make a left and go the wrong way, but I can't cross 6 lanes of traffic. That's insane.
I mean, you could.
John.
Oh, I was just joking.
So I then say I can't jeopardize this because they literally had like 20 minutes to like film and stuff, and I had all the equipment. If they lose this window, it's on me. And this is like lose weight with
filming
cancer.
is hard.
It was really hard that day and so hot. And so I then say, fuck it, got to do it. I then literally crossed 6 lanes of traffic And like they're all starting to move, and like my big red truck is just crossing in front of everybody. And I see all these people look at me like, what is wrong with this guy in a turtleneck in a truck crossing all these lanes of traffic? And then
does he have a bomb?
Right. So law enforcement does show up. So
oh
boy.
no,
Oh, boy.
come on.
I get pulled over. Okay. So I like immediately as I cross like the 6th lane, like there's just like a cop just shows up.
Sure.
And I'm nervous. So now I'm like swerving and I'm like, do I try to I'll chase the cop because I need to get to the filming location?
Oh, God.
The answer to that, Kevin, is always no.
Okay, well,
no, Kevin.
I know that, but it's like the frontal lobe didn't click in yet, and I think I was running on the emotion, and so I'm just like swerving, and I don't know what to do. And by the way, I'm with a friend, and so my friend Mike is in the passenger seat, and he's just like, he wants to scream, but I don't think he wants to take away my attention. So I'm swerving, and finally I just drive onto a side street, and this cop pulls me over, and for sure, not only was the 6th lane crossing a horrible thing when the green light hit, just the way I drove after. It was so suspicious looking. Sure. It's 90-something degrees. I'm wearing a jacket and a turtleneck, and the cop sees this. He gets out of his car, pulls me over, and he literally takes out his gun.
Sure.
So
I would too.
He pulls out a gun as he gets out of the car, and he's screaming for me to get out of the truck.
Holy
At this
shit.
point, I want you to know, if I were your passenger, I would have my hands up and be scring, "I'm a hostage! I'm a hostage!"
Yeah.
I don't know this guy.
Yeah, and so like the cop like literally just is pointing a gun at my head, point
Jesus
blank,
Christ.
and I mean, understandably so. I look so messed up. It's 96 degrees, and I have a lot of equipment in the back of the truck, and I have a turtleneck on.
It's the turtleneck that really just says crazy.
Yeah, and I want to point out, though, one thing. You are wearing a jacket and a turtleneck.
That's correct.
You could have taken that jacket off.
I think we were running out of time. It's like I was thinking in my mind, there's no time to take off the jacket. We got to rush to the next scene.
You don't have that kind of time.
Right. It's like, and I'll just run out of the truck and I'll be ready, wardrobe ready again. So the cop has me, I think, get on the ground, and he I'm handcuffed for sure. I'm handcuffed.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
And I go back into the back of the cop car, and he just throws me in the back, and he's like looking at all this expensive equipment in the back of the truck.
Sure.
And he sees my friend, and my friend he's grilling my friend. He's trying to question what's going on. And the cop then comes to me, and he's yelling at me, and he's telling me like how dangerous the move was. It was for sure. Somebody could have been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going on, and he's like, I could see him looking up my records on his computer screen. I'm thinking like, I'm just thinking about like, this short film is now doomed, or this important film about cancer is not going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's all my fault. I'm going to be in jail. How do I get this equipment? And then the cop then says, what are you doing? I said, I'm helping out making a film. And he's like, well, what's the film about? And I'm just like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm crying again, I think, at this point. I'm so sorry.
There's a theme.
I'm so sorry that it's another story where I end up in tears. God,
don't you dare apologize, Kevin. Exactly. Don't you dare apologize.
Thank God this is audio only.
That's
okay.
Right. That's right.
So I'm like, it's about my friend who had cancer. She's young, and she's making a film about cancer awareness. And the cop then like stops like mid like point on the screen, and he looks at me, and he's like, what is it about? I go, my friend, she's in her 20s. She had breast cancer. And he just looks at me, and he goes, I think he said, like, my mom just died of cancer, or his sister just died of cancer. He looks at me, and I look at him, and there's that moment where it's like, hey, I'm not just a cop right now, and you're not just some crazy guy in a turtleneck. We're two people, and we're now having a connection about this cancer.
And you're white.
And you're white. Yeah, I mean, like this. Yes, and so and I was white, and he was. I mean, like he was Hispanic from what I recall.
Okay,
but I think I was excused, And he looked at me, and he says, I think it was his mom. He goes, my mother had cancer, and I looked at him. I go, I'm so sorry. And then he just like takes out his key and unlocks like my handcuff, and he goes, He goes, "Thank you for making something important." And he just
Oh my God.
he lets me out of the cop car. And he gives me this like nod and a wink, like as he's like by his door as I get back into my truck to like drive to the next filming location.
Wow. Okay. Did you make the 20-minute window?
Just barely. I'm sure I was a minute late, but
Amazing.
I was held at gunpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, but
To
did
be
you make
fair.
this is Hollywood. The important
we
thing.
made it.
Did you get the shot?
We got it. We got it.
Did you check the gate?
We checked the gates and it was good to go.
Wow.
Wow. What a freaking delight.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah, I am so impressed right now.
Yeah, you're
Kevin.
coming back, Kevin. I don't know if you knew that before.
Speechless.
We're not
I'm
letting
speechless.
go of
Okay.
of you this easily.
There's more tears, I'm sure, in the history.
I feel like themes that occurred, like we scenes from movies, were like for almost every like very where the denouement happened. It reminded us of movies.
That was it.
Yeah, and then the crying. I think the crying,
The weeping,
But I feel like the first two times I cried that we talked about, that was bad crying. That was Claire Danes' Romeo and Juliet crying. It was just it looked ugly crying.
Claire Danes is kind of pretty ugly crying.
I had a giant. If you're listening, I had a picture of you in my wallet in high school. That sounds creepy, but I was a teenager. It's fine. I had a big crush. But it was like that. But these tears with the gunpoint and the turtleneck, it was I feel like a manly tear that just, we looked at each other, two men, we have emotions, we have a connection. One tear went down my cheek. It was like a crybaby in a way. And he looked at and it was a good moment. It was a beautiful moment, I think. And nice. I hope he remembers me too.
And I don't want you to feel bad about having that picture of Claire Danes on your wall, because we once had a guest talk about trying to bring a celebrity home to sleep with him, and she had a full-sized cardboard cutout of that celebrity in her bedroom.
I know who you're talking about, and
I bet you do.
And that's a little creepy.
So by the transitive property of creepiness, you're less creepy.
Yeah, right. I mean, mine's watered down to just picture on the wall and a picture on the wall. That's fine.
I think that's okay.
Yeah,
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I think so too. High school, you get a pass.
My so-called life, so cute, right?
Oh my God, I had a crush on her too.
Yeah.
It was,
of course,
amazing.
Yeah.
It's an important television show in my life.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, Kevin, I cannot tell you how delightful it has been to spend an evening to hear your three stories, each more delectable than the last.
Well, isn't there a German word for when one derives pleasure from one's misery? I feel like that's what I've given to you.
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the
that's
one.
it.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. It's in the past. And as we all know, tragedy plus time equals comedy. And that's what we have here.
Equals your podcast.
That's right. It equals
Yes.
like all this sweet podcast cash that we're raking in.
Yeah.
But no, it's if like the beautiful part of this is that these are hilarious stories in which you were like, you didn't do anything malicious. You didn't do any. I mean, I've actually told stories where like I've actually, not made a good choice from maybe not the best place. All of the choices you made were from a good place. Like there's you wanted to get into college, and it was primarily to save the romance and your friendships and all these things.
Be plural. Yep.
And then you wanted to play a concert on the beach for your girlfriend.
Yep.
To be romantic and have that happen. And then like you wanted to help out a good friend and a good cause to make a movie about cancer. You're a freaking saint, man.
Well, I appreciate that. I am afraid every time somebody asks me for a favor. What's going to happen next?
Sure. Well, the real problem is that you say yes.
Yeah.
It's that truck. It's the truck having curse. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here, Kevin. And I don't know if you've listened to many of our episodes. But we do have a signature sign off, and we'd be more than honored if you would join us.
Okay.
In signing off that way. It's a 3-letter sign off. Are you familiar with it?
I heard it a lot. Can you? What happened? What is it? Sorry,
no. Don't worry. We always do this to people. It's like
it's kind of shitty.
It's totally shitty. We shouldn't do it. But this is where the actual Schadenfreude.
I feel like I remember watching it, and now I'm like drawing a blank.
Right. Well, the 3 letters are FMP, and like some people like to like keep things couched in secrecy, and I think we thought we were going to do that at the beginning. But we've said it so many times and explicated it on like nearly every episode. It stands for fuck Mike Pence. And
yes.
If that's a cause you can get behind, then I would
Yeah.
All right. Well, then why don't you lead us in the charge?
Him and that fly on his head.
That fly.
Yeah. Fuck that fly.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, I don't know. I think the fly was making a statement.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the fly. But we're not fucking that fly.
Yeah.
We're fucking Mike Pence.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
So why don't you lead us in our sign off? Thank you for being here. Thank you for your stories. We really appreciate your time, and I know our mistakers do too.
Thank you so much. FMP.
FMP.
FMP.